Y'all already know what's going on, man. Attitude Era podcast in the building. We got action, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, I put out a tweet, and my man Uncle Vince didn't like it, and not Vince McMahon, Vince Russo. Watched Who Killed WCW episode 3, and Vince Russo made a statement on there saying that he was better than 80% of the roster. And I just said I needed clarity because I would feel like somebody would want clarity if I was to say that. I'm not a wrestler. Maybe I have like a genius mind where I can create storylines and bookings, but to say you're better than the roster, I wanted clarity. Like, and the clarity was not provided to me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll read y'all the tweet if y'all not in tune. So basically, I said Vince Russo said he was better than 80% of the roster. I need clarity on that. And then Vince Russo said, clarity of what? Any of those words you don't understand? And my reply to that, first of all,
Very defensive.
that reply was very hostile. So it seems like I guess people were, questioning what he was saying all day, and they responded back to me hostile. But I wasn't trolling them, and to let them know I wasn't trolling them, you know what I mean. My response to that was, "LOL." Not disagreeing with you. You were there. I wasn't. But just clarity on what was the roster bad at. Selling the storyline, the actual wrestling, being engaged with your creative direction. I feel like for you to say you're better than 80% of the roster, what are you better at? I know you don't wrestle better than 99% of them.
And that's what I'm saying, because we do kind of need clarity with that tweet. Is he saying that he's better at the business? Is he saying that he's better at creating the production? Because he can't in any world be saying that he's better at wrestling than a wrestler.
Bro, he's trolling. He just said today that he's better than 90% of the roster today.
Yeah, that's wild.
He's out of his mind, bro.
That's some real on-brand Vince Russo shit, though.
Salute to Vince Russo, man. I think he found a way to navigate in this world in 2024 and be a troll. You know what I mean? I like the guy, man. I gave him props on the Attitude Era. I just was asking a simple question, but I see, you know what I mean? He's in a different pocket.
It is a good philosophical question, though. Who's like to give more credit? The person who thought of the idea or who executed it? Because at the end of the day, you got to give credit where it's due. Vince Russo is responsible for a lot of great moments that we love, that we probably even talk about. But the wrestlers are the one who carried them out, right?
No, but not even that, though. When we touched on it with WCW, Vince Russo was behind a lot of moments we liked in the Attitude Era, but Vince McMahon signed off on those good ideas, and he may have enhanced it. The wrestlers, it was creative. I don't believe one person ever, if it's a collective, right? If you have multiple people being a part of something, I don't like the ego of saying it's one person. Collectively, we all make this podcast great.
Or bad, with the whole who killed what thing. It goes the same.
Yeah. So I don't feel like, you know what I mean, that was one thing. I feel like he had all the control in WCW, and that cook-up wasn't the same Attitude Era cook-up.
My question is, why he get mad at you?
He got mad at me. I think he was just mad that mad people was pressing him about it that day. So I fell in the category of one of the people that he thought was pressing him. But I really was just, I didn't even think homie would respond. So I just took a shot in the dark, like, let me see if I can get some answers. But he never answered me. And that's what makes me like me, I do respond to negative comments. But when somebody corrects themselves, I'm going to answer it and realize, oh, shit, this person wasn't trolling. It's like, I articulated myself very well, sir. I would like clarity.
Well, I personally would like any viewers to know, if we were ever to interview him, if they would want us to try to ask that, clarify, and any other questions they wanted to maybe ask him. But
me and Jerry pulled up the roster from the year 2000.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, they on research time, and I like, bro.
We went. It was 97 men listed on that roster.
Yes, sir.
Me and Jerry set up and we went person by person.
In the year 2000.
Give me a few names, Jerry, and y'all tell me if y'all think Vince Russo was better than. Just throw some random names out, Jerry.
I like
random names. Okay, Alex Wright.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Oh, you don't remember Alex Wright? He was doing all that dancing, the German dude.
Yeah, I think Vince. Yeah.
Arn Anderson.
Nah.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, damn, that's a tough one. I'd say it.
I mean, if we talking about promo so far, yeah.
Norman Smiley.
He is not better than Bam Bam, the Beast from the East.
We're not talking about wrestling.
I'm talking about wrestling too.
All right, so let me keep it $1.
We're talking about everything, though. We're kind of talking about the total package.
When I put in the wrestling part, I was trolling. I know he didn't think he could wrestle better than 80% of the people. He almost got cooked up by Goldberg. So I know he didn't mean that. I put that as trolling, but I think he's talking about ratings and selling and marketing. Everybody you named, I keep it $1. I'm not a hater. I think he promos better than them.
And if you say that, then
we got plenty more.
We got a lot.
Right, let's go 10. You gave 3. Let's see what percent of
yeah.
Booker T.
No, nothing.
Yeah, Booker T.
Jerry, you gotta dig. You know who's on that roster. Stop being nice.
Oh, David Flair.
Yes.
David Flair?
Johnson.
Yeah, he's better than
Big T. Ahmed Johnson was there.
Big T. Yep, Ahmed Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Van Hammer. Brian Adams.
Hold on. I think they're trying to make a point that if you break it down mathematically, he might actually be. Look, even my dog is feeling that shit. He might actually be better than like 80%.
DNA, my man, but hey, we proposed us to play a game. This.
Archie literally wanted to go through the roster, and I was down for it. Yay or nay?
That roster was.
It might be you, DNA. It might not be Vince Russo. It might be you. He might really be better than 80% of them motherfuckers. Yeah. Yo, when you think about it, they're making me think like
Jeremy
maybe a few of them are really better than him.
Y'all about to make me do. I'm a man. Listen, man.
It's a tough out. It's a tough out. It's a tough out. I know that. But
you know it's wild. This is 97 people on this 2000 roster we're looking at, right? They give credits to people who just, if you wrestled in the year 2000, sold out happens in the early part of January 1st.
I'm going to toss this one out. Year 2000. We talking, DNA said we not talking wrestling, right?
No, I thought you said we're talking all of it.
No.
Promo, wrestling, merchandise, like all of it.
I think he moved wrestling out. It's a name on there that you bring up almost every podcast. Bret Hart.
Yeah, that silence said a lot right there. What was that?
I mean, he's a GOAT.
But in 2000,
I just went through the roster in 2000. Vince Russo.
Look, we can talk about it. Vince Russo, he was bugging.
You got him apologizing to Vince.
It's a lot.
I deleted it because I never said he wasn't right.
No, wait, you gotta hold that because we got something coming up. We'll save that moment for that. But hold on, full pause. Archie, are you saying Vince Russo is better than Bret Hart?
Mm-hmm.
When you take wrestling out of it in the year 2000, what was Bret Hart doing?
But I mean that was just that quick. But I guess it counts, man. Yo, listen, man. After further review. You might be right, man. He might be on to something. Man.
Hey! Just a little homie court. That's all.
But guess what though? Guess what y'all did that he didn't do? Y'all gave me
clarity. Good night.
And I can tell you one thing. I don't know about nobody else, but we better than 80% of these other podcasts.
That's a fact.
I would say 90. I would say 95.
You're being nice, Archie.
I know Sammy Z down there.
Era. Don't go with an 80. We better than.
But you look at everybody's dynamic, right? And this is what I feel like Vince Russo. I'm not gonna say he was missing because when we look at that roster, he got a bad hand. He was bugging. That's a bad. Imagine you have one jack, a queen of spades in your hand, and you gotta win. It's get off the table or you win, and you like, you look at your partner. You like, how many books? And he tell you, I ain't got it.
Can we close out with favorite Vince Russo moments? Can we do that? Can we go around and close out?
It's like a bad basketball team. Somebody's going to be the best worst.
Yo, listen, man.
Fact.
My favorite Vince Russo moment, I didn't even know was the moment, was him with a helmet on and Goldberg spearing. That was wild, bro.
Damn near. Can I say something negative? Let me say something negative though, right? And it's not negative but you have to develop the talent. Because a lot of times we look at these rosters and I go, Sean O'Hare. You had Scott Armstrong, bro.
It was tough. It was tough.
Psychosis, which is all, Psychosis was cool. Shane Douglas, Shane Helms. We could look at a 90. You can look at a 94. What happened?
That's the Hurricane.
Yeah, I know. But this is my point. At one point, WCW has, now just remember these names. They have like Stunning Steve Austin. They have Terrorizing. They have, you know what I'm saying?
Terrorizing is a terrible fucking wrestling.
They have Chris Benoit. They have Eddie Guerrero.
And you know what's worse than that? Sexton Hardcastle. Shout out to Edge.
They also have Vinny Vegas and Oz, right? They also had a Scott Hall who was a white dude with a hairy chest.
Jerry.
I'm about to spin, y'all. Now, man.
Wait, hold on. Before we spin, I gotta say my favorite Vince Russo moment. It was that time he put DNA in a pretzel on Twitter, and then we came on here and proved that he was wrong about Vince Russo.
Yes, but I didn't say I was right, bro. I said I wanted clarity.
He did.
If somebody says they were better than Michael Jordan or LeBron, and I say I want clarity, that's not crazy. That's an unpopular opinion. Clarify.
Hey, listen,
is your opinion valid?
We're gonna finish this conversation and it's gonna be awesome for the viewers. So make sure everyone's tuned in, subscribe, Patreon right there, the scrolling link.
RT, HP, they're gonna cover some other things. I gotta go, but I had to be here with the Vince Russo thing because that was my cook up. I was a part of that story.
Hey.
You're instrumental in that.
It's all good.
I'll let y'all finish off, fellas. I'm out of here. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, man. We went through the roster. Little homie court is never bad, but we went through the roster.
You guys straight up caught him. That was unprepared. You ever seen those memes? It was like the shit pauses and it was like at this moment he knew.
Hey, the roster was just bad, and he might.
You caught me too. I thought Vince was bugging.
He was better than a lot of them.
Here's what I said, and me and Archie did have this conversation, and I was alluding to that when I was talking about the spades, right? You got a bad hand. You got to still play it. Unfortunately, he's got to play it. And the worst part about him having to play it is you get a bad hand and people are watching from afar. They're like, oh, you trash. Bro, look what I got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like in context, when I was saying like Terrorizing, Vinny Vegas, Oz, a Scott Hall, who's a white man, not based on the Scarface character.
Hey, no Scott Hall slander.
No, I don't want to slander. But when WWE got him, they told him your name be Razor Ramon and you'll be based on this character from a movie, Scarface. And he took it to new heights, right? So we say it's not talent because it was never properly cultivated to where we saw it as profitable or we saw it as like elite. You know what I mean? Billy Kidman was at one point had a storyline with Hulk Hogan, and if you watch Billy Kidman matches, he had talent, bro. He had talent because if you look at Seth Rollins wrestle now, Seth Rollins in 1995 doesn't get any world titles because he doesn't have size for the 1995 scene of wrestling. So how are you telling stories? Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo were both very innovative. They just didn't have enough innovation at that moment to get those guys over. That's what I think. And it's not a negative on him because you can only come up with so many ideas in a day.
But you're saying that Vince Russo did have that to get people over?
I think with 97 people on that roster, and a lot of them left early, like the Radicals left early. They're counted on that roster, but by February, they were gone. They were already in WWE, even though they're on that roster. You know what I mean? But again, if you tell people Rocky Maivia is going to be a world champion when he debuts in Survivor Series in his first year, people will laugh you out the building. If you tell them Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, you know what I mean? If I tell you the Greenwich. What was that for? What was those 4 people from Greenwich? They had the green and white, and they attacked Shawn. Who? The Spirit Squad. If I told you one of them would be a world champion, one day, right? Because it was Dolph Ziggler in that group, you'd be like, "What? They're trash." But eventually, you get a good idea if you stick with it long enough. You're consistent, and you also need luck. A little bit of luck can take you a long way if you got the right idea. He didn't have it. Vince Russo, they were already down in the ratings this time, really bad. You had too many egos boosted superstars like Hulk Hogan doing things that just wasn't good for the business. And so Vince Russo ran out of time. I think Vince Russo, if he would have had more time, more money available, and better contracts for stars instead of everybody having creative control, I think he could have done something with those guys.
I think wrestling got too big, too fast, and the expansion killed a lot of momentum.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody knew, because you got to remember, like, before the Attitude Era, wrestling was drastically different, including their target audience.
Yeah,
so, like,
they were
once
losing
they switched, copying WCW, I agree. I think it went. I don't think they knew it was going to get that big.
Too big, too fast.
Actually,
you know what it was? I'm gonna put in a music reference, right? And it's Fetty Wap. Think about the run Fetty Wap had. It was hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, then nothing. So it's like it got too big, too fast, and when you have this happen, you have people learning on the job as they go. They learning how to manage. They learning how to book. They learning how to deal with money. They learning how to book tours and shows and do merch. Like, everybody's learning on the fly because it's never been this before. So and when people learning on the fly, it's some grace there, but you get desperate. I think they got desperate and they start reaching for low-hanging fruit. And when you start doing that, you get what you get.